We are now just 67 days away from Mariners opening day. We're going to be taking a look at the Mariners division, the AL West, and the outlook for this division. Are the Mariners still the favorites to win the AL West? We're going to talk about that. We're going to give you guys our Fanduel favorites, and then we're going to give you the spring training information that you have been waiting for. We got spring training dates, including when pitchers and catchers are reporting, the first full squad workout, etc. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We appreciate you guys watching episode 268 of the Hit It Here podcast, part of the Bleav Network and presented by FanDuel. Be sure to give us a 5-star review, like and subscribe to this here YouTube channel. And this is the Kyle Shanahan episode of the podcast because the Seahawks are his daddy. The 49ers suck, dude. The 49ers, they got absolutely owned.
They got curb stomped. So Simply Seattle came out with use code Mojo10 at checkout for 10% off. They had, when the Seahawks beat the 49ers and then clinched the division and the 1 seed, they had like the 12 greater than 49 shirt and stuff like that. I screenshotted that and then went to go send it to my old manager, who like was a big 49ers fan down in California. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna wait. Because I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to jinx it. And then they got Seahawks just ran through them last night. And I didn't text them because that felt too harsh. Had it been like a closer, had it been like, I would say had it been a closer game, I think I would have sent it, but it would had to have been closer, but not tense. Like if it was like a 10-point game or maybe even a 2-score game, like 14 points, I think it would have been different. But an absolute romping 40, like they got
40-6,
dude, like in stuff that you don't see. Only Seahawks can do that kind of stuff. 43-8. Then they have that one last night. I mean, looking good for the Hawks in the NFL playoffs. But Colton, we need to talk about baseball because we're a Mariners YouTube channel. What are we doing?
That's right.
You know, what are we trying to become Hawks Mojo? No, we're not.
Really good segue there. Both teams won the division. They both went to the championship series / game. There you go.
There, yeah. Thanks for the help there. And
there's your transition.
The question I think a lot of people are asking is the American League West the division, like the Mariners division, to lose in 2026? Are they still the division favorites? And looking around the rest of the West, I think that there's still the contender of the Houston Astros that can come back and challenge the throne after being taken off of it in 2025. But I'm curious to see where you think the next competitor comes from. If it's who is third and who is fourth. I think there's a consensus 5. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's a consensus.
Don't forget to take
Alexa, don't forget to take the garbage out, by the way. Oh, that's so funny. Speaking of taking the garbage out, the Angels are going to be 5th in this division. Once again, they are the bottom of this division pretty safely, I'd say. They've made some interesting moves. I mean, they traded for Josh Lowe. And is he better than Taylor Ward? I don't think so. Not by any means, especially offensively. He gives you a bit more defensively, which I think the Angels need out there because running Joe Adell in center field is a recipe for disaster. And Fangraphs Roster Resource has Jorge Soler out there in left field because Mike Trout is DHing. Is the idea. And if that's alternating days, regardless, you need Josh Lowe, I think, defensively out there to make up some of the ground. But this team is poor in pretty much every facet. I mean, there's a couple good players. Zach Neto's good. I think he is pretty underrated in general, but I'm not necessarily intimidated by a team that has Alek Manoah as their number 5 on Fangraphs Roster Resource right now. I mean, this could be kind of a boom or bust team, but I'm leaning more so on they are going to fall short again. And I'm not sure what the future of the Angels franchise looks for the next, handful of years either.
Yeah, I think that with the Angels, for them to be successful in 2026, they're gonna have to have one of their young pitchers take another step. Like you're gonna need like Reed Detmers or a Caden Dana, or I mean, if Grayson Rodriguez is healthy, like there are some guys in there. Jose Soriano's fine. Yusei Kikuchi is fine, but you're gonna need a step up from some of those guys. Looking at their bullpen, they did add Kirby Yates, who was pretty good last season. They have Drew Pomerantz, Jordan Romano, Robert Stevenson. Like they have some names in that bullpen. But then you look at the rest of their their infield, for example. Logan O'Hoppe, sure, good catcher. No, Nolan Shonowell, hit or miss.
Yeah.
Christian Moore, one of their top prospects, is playing second base. Third base, Denzer Guzman.
Who?
I have no idea who that is. Zach Neto, and then over on MLB, it has on the depth chart Joe Adell in left, Bryce Teodosio in center, and then Mike Trout in right with Jorge Soler DHing. But yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that they're going to be a below 500 ball club, especially. I mean, the American League West isn't necessarily a powerhouse division right now, but you do have to face the Mariners. The Astros could be number 2. I think they'll be number 2 in 2026. They still have some good players, although, losing Framber and whatnot. They did just sign Tetsuya Imai earlier this offseason for the Astros. I think they're probably firmly in number 2 there. Number 3, I think. No, we got to do number 4 first. I'm leaning.
I think regardless whether you do 3 or 4, yeah, like it's settling because I think we're both pretty confident in 2 for the Astros. I think that they're an above 500 team. I would put their high water mark probably like 90 wins, but like their bottom probably like 80. Like I don't think that their range is very high, if that makes sense. Like they're pretty much locked into 80 to 90 wins in some range in there, and I think that's probably a pretty safe bet to be the second spot in the American League West. The Angels, they're going to be 30 games below 500. Like they're going to be bad. Like that's just the way it is. So it's kind of for the 2 remaining teams, because I think we're both pretty confident and biased, admittedly, that the Mariners have the best chance at least to win the American League West again and be at least 86 wins and above. I think that their floor is probably like 84 wins if they bottom out, but I think that there's enough, talent and floor raisers in general to get them to 84 wins, even if Cal is not having an MVP level season, or, the pitching doesn't get back to where we hope it does. And if the pitching does turn into what we expected in 2025, we see more of 23 or 24's rotation. I mean, this could be a 90 plus win team pretty safely.
Yeah.
So again, it is, we are rolling the dice on if the young guns from the Athletics do take the big next step that we saw, I think Nick Kurtz kind of like inject them with last year of like, this offense is going to be a problem in the West. And you're saying it's not a juggernaut in 2026. That I am scared for what the Athletics, if things again do continue to pan out for them as far as their prospects coming up, if things continue to go right for them, they, I think, will be in the conversation to, like, they'll be a wild card team in 2027. And I'm sure that there are people out there that'll say like they could be a wild card team in 2026. I'm not ready to give them that. I think that they're like gonna flirt with 500 this year, because I do still think that there are flaws in that team, but the roster itself does have a lot of good young talent. It is just they're missing, I think, some of that talent on the pitching side of the ball. I think if they could balance out, if they had a preference, if they could balance out some of the talent they have offensively and give some to the pitching side, I think that that team would do that in a heartbeat, because it would make them a more rounded team. They're going to lose a lot of games, 9-8 this year, I think, because they have the firepower. I just don't think that they have the bullpen and the pitching staff just in general to match to be at the level that they need it to be a wild card team in 2026. So I would go Rangers 3, Athletics 4.
Yeah, I would do the same. I mean, just looking at the Rangers roster, they have good players. It's just, can they stay healthy, right? Evan Carter, Josh Young, Jacob deGrom, Corey Seager. There are so many injury-prone guys on that roster. And when they're good, they're really good. I mean, they went out and acquired Brandon Nimmo. Wyatt Langford, I expect to take another step this season. But when you look at their rotation, it's Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom, Jack Leiter. That's all that's listed here over on MLB.com.
Oh, yikes.
Just those three. Robert Garcia is their closer. Tyler Alexander. Alexis Diaz, maybe he can, kind of rekindle something in that bullpen. But I think that there's a lot of volatility with the Texas Rangers, and I think they probably have the highest range of outcomes when it comes to win total. They could be a 70 win team, or they could be like a nearly a 90 win team.
Whoa.
Just depending. Yeah, no, whoa.
90. I would put their max at like 86. But still, a 16-game window is not anything to be shy about when it talks about volatility in Major League Baseball. So you're not wrong, though. You're not wrong there in terms of range of outcomes, I don't think. Wyatt Langford's really interesting. He's, I think, got the chance to be a 5-6 win player. He was a 4-win player last year. There is, similar to the Angels in a weird way, like some boom or bust going on. And I think that you were kind of addressing that with the volatility. So,
yep, I was.
I kind of interrupted you, so I wanted to let you continue.
Oh, okay, got you. They have Ezekiel Duran as the first baseman right now over Josh Smith and Jake Berger. So, and Jock Peterson's still on that team. Just a lot of volatility. Now, with the Athletics, I think I agree with a lot of the young guys, and obviously they're a team that's drafted pretty well and traded away a lot of their players a few years ago. I wouldn't say there's a lot of volatility with a team like that, but you're right. They are going to be very offensively inclined. They're going to be a team that is, especially because they're still playing in, I Bleav, Suter Health this season. Yeah. They moved to Vegas in 27. Or is it 28?
If everything continues in the direction that they're anticipating, yes, I think it's 28, and I think the plan for 27 is, I thought it was to share AT&T. Whoa, throwback, to share Oracle. Wait, no, which one is it right now? Is it AT&T or is it Oracle? It used to be Oracle. No,
it used to be AT&T.
Hold on,
it's Oracle Park, bro. It's Oracle Park. Anyway, long story short, they're going to be playing in that bandbox that is a AAA. The River Cats ballpark, the Sacramento River Cats, and that place, it's easy to hit homers in that place, so their pitching is going to definitely struggle. But it's Oracle, isn't it?
Yeah, I pseudo Mandela'd myself there. That was crazy.
Yeah, you're literally gaslighting yourself. But yeah, overall, I think we agree on the order. It'll be Mariners, Astros, and then the Rangers, the Athletics, and followed up by the Angels. Now, looking over on Fanduel, they have it set up exactly like that. They have the Mariners at plus 105, and in first place, the Astros at plus 195. In second, they have the Rangers at plus 420.
Nice.
They have the Athletics at plus 1300, and the Angels at plus 3000
to win the West,
the division. So, yeah, they have it set up pretty similarly. What's interesting over on FanDuel, though, I would say, is probably the win totals. And we don't need to necessarily look at every team's win totals. I think maybe we just do the Mariners and the Astros, honestly.
Yeah.
But looking at the Mariners, over 89.5 wins, they have at negative 115, mein Gott. Under 89.5 wins at negative 105. So, I mean, it's a pretty small margin.
Yeah.
There, it sounds like basically what they're looking at is, I think FanDuel says the Mariners are probably an 89 win team.
Yep.
Like, that's what I'm gathering from this. So
anything that's like an over under like that, it's always going to be pretty much even odds, where it's minus 115, minus 105. Like, there's such a small margin there because that is you're taking the over or the under. And sometimes they'll have alternative lines where you could bet the Mariners to be 92 plus, and then you'd get that at like plus 800 or something, or, over 85.5 wins, and that would be at minus 1,000 because the odds favor the Mariners to be roughly an 89 win team. And that's exactly what the odds are saying there. For the Astros, the team that we deemed and FanDuel is deemed as the second best team in the American League West owned, they have their win total set at 86.5. And I think that's fair. I mean, they still have Jeremy Pena. Jose Altuve, I don't think is falling off a cliff by any means. If Yordan is fully healthy, I think that will be a big get back for them. A full year with Carlos Correa, if he can stay healthy. The biggest question marks for them going forward is probably that rotation of, you're losing a very stable force in Framber Valdez, and are you going to be able to replace him with Tatsuya Imai and Mike Burrows? I don't think so. And I think that benefits the Mariners in terms of the West in this specific season. They still have a great bullpen. Josh Hader's still there. Brian Abreu is one of the best setup men in all of baseball. He could probably close games for other teams, but when you're a championship level contending team, you need that depth in the bullpen. And the Astros still do have that. But we both agree that the Astros are probably closer to 86 wins than the Mariners are, and the Mariners are at 89 for the projection.
Mm-hmm. A big part for the Astros is like, what can you expect out of Christian Walker in 2026? Like, is he going to bounce back? Isaac Paredes is still on that team. What are you going to do with him? You look at their outfield, and that's this place where you're like, is Jordan going to have to play some left field at some point? They're kind of a team with some question marks right now, and they haven't really done a whole lot to address in this offseason. Again, they signed Tatsuya Imai, they traded for Mike Burrows, but overall, I think that the Astros at 86.5, I would take the under.
Interesting.
I think that the Astros are like an 83 win team.
Okay.
Because the Mariners are their daddies, and they are going to win all 13 games. Mariners are going to go 13-0 versus the Astros.
You heard it here first. So, like the video if you want the Mariners to go 13-0 against the Astros this year.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if you don't like the video, it might be your fault. The Mariners don't go 13-0 versus the Astros. I'm just saying. What's nice though is over on the awards section, the Mariners have 2 players in the top 5 as potential MVPs in 2026. It goes Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr., 1 and 2. Number 3, you have Cal Raleigh at plus 700, Gunnar Henderson at plus 1400, and then Julio Rodriguez at plus 1400. You know what? I'm going to put him 4th, and I'm going to switch 4. Top 4. I'm moving Gunnar Henderson. So you have Julio and Cal, and we've talked a lot about what Julio can be in 2026 if he can be hot for an entire year. Like, he is probably nearing like an 8 to 9 win player if he plays like he can. Mm-hmm. I know.
Well, that's what it takes to be an MVP.
That's what it takes to be an MVP. Unless you're Cal Raleigh, then you get beat out by a DH named Aaron Judge.
Who had 10 wins, but that's not the point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Cal Raleigh plus 700 is, clearly they don't take into account catching statistics at all compared to DH statistics, but that's okay. Baseball Writers of America. Cal Raleigh at plus 700 here. I'm not going to lie. I would not take Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
The overwhelming, I don't think Cal's going to have a bad year.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that 2026 Cal Raleigh should be among the likes of Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., and Gunnar Henderson? I think he should be a little bit lower.
Interesting.
Gunnar Henderson was bad last year.
I was saying, throwing Gunnar into that conversation. Maybe he's more of like you're buying low and on a bounce back. I don't disagree that Cal, I don't expect him to be a top 5 MVP finisher.
Yeah.
And it's because
I don't think he'll be bad.
No, not by any means. Like, I still think he's probably a top 10 in the American League pretty safely. It's such a tough act to follow what he pulled off in 2025. And I think what would put him over the like hump and get him back into that conversation for me, I honestly think a lot of writers would, if he hit 10 less home runs, we'll say 12 less. We'll say he ties Salvi's old record of 48, right? Because if he hits 50, that's still like a very good benchmark. But let's say he's below 50, but he's high 40s, right? But if his average comes up like 30 points, there's going to be some sort of conversation there about like, oh, he's not selling out for homers anymore. He's more of a complete hitter than we thought. And then that could somehow sway the writers in that direction, I think is maybe a way that Cal Raleigh does end up back in the top 5, top 3, podium level conversation again. He has the skills to do it because we saw him do it last year. Like, there's no reason to question that. Looking at the American League Cy Young, no Mariners in the top 5. Sad. 2 in the top 10 though. 2 in the top 8 if we're getting really picky. We have Mr. 6 innings himself, Brian Wu, at plus 1,700, followed up by the tall man, Logan Gilbert at plus 2,200. The crowd here is led by Tarek Skubal at plus 250, but he'll eventually get shipped off to LA, and so he'll be in the National League at that point. So then Garrett Crochet will actually be the favorite at plus 350 to win the American League Cy Young. Jacob deGrom at plus 1,000, Cole Reagans at plus 1,200, Hunter Brown at plus 1,200, and Max Fried at plus 13, all ahead of Wu and Gilbert there. Colton, if you had to pick either Wu or Gilbert to be the highest Cy Young finisher for the Mariners in 2026, who would you pick?
It's really hard to bet against Bryan Woo. It's really hard to bet against Bryan Woo, but I'm going to do it. I think Logan is going to have a really nice bounce back year.
Fake out.
Now, I hope that they sign him to an extension before that, because if Logan has a bounce back year that I think he could, then he's going to be even more expensive.
We're looking at a Cal Raleigh situation again. Logan gets extended Cy Young 2 2026, just like Cal got extended MVP 2 finish.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Absolute cinema.
Yeah. Absolute cinema. Yeah, I think that Logan bounces back quite well. And you didn't even mention that in the top 22, the Mariners have 4 of the top 22.
Okay.
George Kirby's in there and Luis Castillo is 22nd. So, no Bryce Miller, though. Shame. I will mention that in the National League, Freddie Peralta is 10th. He's top 10, Freddie Peralta, and he's going to be a Los Angeles Dodger soon. So that's been being talked about apparently, because the Dodgers are, they were like, we're gonna have a pretty nonchalant offseason, and then they went and signed literally everyone, the best pitcher and the best hitter available. Cool guys. But yeah, awesome. I think that Logan is my favorite for American League Cy Young. Do you think he gets the opening day start?
Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, again,
I don't think that there's. If it goes to Bryan Woo, I don't think that there's any issue with that. I just think they're going to give it to Logan Gilbert this year. And if Bryan Woo outperforms him again in 2026, 2027 opening day, should there be one, will be Bryan Woo in that scenario, right? I don't think, so long as Logan Gilbert is a Mariner, well, I don't want to say that. That's misleading for what I'm thinking. I think this season is Logan Gilbert's though, and I don't have a preference either way, but that's just my opinion. Don't cancel before. That's my opinion.
I mean, we're still 67 days away from seeing who takes the bump that day, but we're pretty close to spring training, Joe.
Yep.
And the Mariners released the set of dates for when things are happening at spring training, and I was hoping that the pitchers and catchers reporting was going to once again be on Valentine's Day. Not only because it actually gives me something to look forward to for Valentine's Day, but also because Joe doesn't know this. We just posted new merch over on our Fourth Wall shop, and the Smooches Bro t-shirt and the Smooches Bro sweatshirt. So if you want to give your bro some smooches this Valentine's Day, make sure to snag one of those using the link in the description. But Monday, February 9th, the World Baseball Classic pitchers and catchers will report to Peoria. Now, obviously, that's Cal Raleigh. That's going to be Gabe Spire. Is that it? That Gabe Spire is the only pitcher?
Doubtful.
Right?
I mean, I think Munoz is going to pitch for Team Mexico, no?
Has that been confirmed?
I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right.
Sure.
Yeah, so it'll be like Mooney, Cal, Gabe Spire. I don't know if
Julio's playing for the DR?
Well, this is only pitchers and catchers, but yeah.
Oh, right. That's how that works.
But yeah, so then on Wednesday, February 11th, Major League pitchers and catchers will report. So that's going to be all the pitchers and catchers. On the 12th, so the next day, World Baseball Classic position players will report. That'll obviously be Cal, Julio, Randy.
Cal again?
Oh, Cal already. Cal, yeah.
See,
he's reporting a second time. Cal, Julio, Randy. Victor is playing for the DR this year, I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, something. I don't remember who all is playing where. I'm just excited for the World Baseball Classic to finally start. But all the rest of the Major League players will report on Monday, February 16th, with the first full squad workout being February 17th, and the first game versus the Padres. It's always versus the Padres, game 1, February 20th. So we are, on the day that this is released, we are 1 month and 1 day away from spring training games. And I am really looking forward to some Arizona sunshine because it's been nice here the past couple of days,
Yeah.
but it's been cold.
Yeah. It was weirdly warm like last week, and it was still kind of nice out. Yeah, and then the freezing cold came back and said, "Remember, it's still January, Washingtonians." Yeah, I mean, spring training is your playground. It's like one of your favorite places. I love it, but I definitely don't love it as much as you do. I'm gonna openly admit that. Like, that is your baby. I love spring training, but if I was, I showed up to a loving spring training contest and my opponent is Colton, it's the Squidward meme where his jaw's gone. Like, that thing. Like, I'm cooked if I need to love spring training more than this guy across from me, because it is true. Like, if you've never gone, there's not many baseball experiences like it, I would say. If you do really commit to it, I think it's something that you need to commit to. You can't just kind of show up to spring training and, for lack of a better term, half-ass it. You have to at least go to a practice field one day. At least one. If you're there for 3 days in Arizona, like, that's like, it's a weekend getaway. You have to wake up early and go to the practice fields to make sure that you can see the ins and outs of the way that the team operates. And maybe you'll get lucky and you'll see them recording a video where they're doing a closest to the home plate challenge with Ken Griffey Jr. Like, there could, and with the 50th season stuff, there's probably going to be a ton of things related like that, where it's like a cliche thing to say, but like a once in a lifetime opportunity where who knows when you're going to see something like that again. And whether or not that's something you care about, I mean, if you're at spring training, the odds are you probably do. So that's like, you got to just commit to it. Go to the practice fields early, see a game later that day, if there is one. If not, you have to catch a game at some point. Obviously, that's the whole reason why you're there. Go stand in Autograph Alley and try and get some signatures. Like, there's so many things to do that are unique to spring training, and it is, I think, the closest, like, most personal thing that you're going to get to the team. Like, that'll bridge that gap outside of maybe FanFest. But I'm not entirely sure how, like, the FanFest experience will be now. I think FanFest prior is a close second, but I still would have put spring training as the premier, get to close to the players' fan experience that a lot of people look for. And if you have the ability to do so, definitely get your butt down to Peoria and head to the Cactus League. And also, Peoria Sports Complex, goated.
Gorgeous.
Like, it's beautiful. It's probably, I mean, bias. I'll be biased. I'll say it's my favorite, but I know
my favorite too.
Okay. I know you've been to all of them at this point, and you have high praise for Sloan.
Sloan's nice. Yep.
You have high praise for Talking Stick. Is there one that I'm missing? Like, would those be the top three?
Yeah, those are definitely the top three. Okay. I would say. Yeah. Talking Stick, of course, it's Diamondbacks facility. It's going to be the nicest.
Yeah.
That place is incredible. Like, if I didn't have any bias, that's probably number one by far. But because Peoria and on the backfields and whatnot, and I know all the players and whatnot, like, it's just a whole different vibe when you actually give a rat's behind about the team that you're going out to the backfields to watch. But yeah, like Joe said, if you've never been down there, you have to give it a shot. FanFest is great, and obviously that's coming up here in about 12 days. FanFest is awesome, but that's very coordinated. That's very, like, you walk through a line, you get the autograph, you leave.
That's fair.
Like, when you are at spring training, you could literally be as close as I am to, like, those jerseys right now, watching Julio Rodriguez hit. Now, I will say, in 2026, with the World Baseball Classic, a lot of those guys are going to be gone from spring training. Cal, Julio, Andres Munoz, etc. Who knows how long they'll be gone, because, of course, it depends on how the brackets play out and whatnot, but they're not going to be there. And so 2026 spring training specifically is a little bit of a weird one. I was there in 2023 when a lot of the players weren't there as well. It was a little bit more low key, because obviously everyone wants to get Cal and Julio's autographs. That's what everyone's trying to get. Neither of them are going to be there. So if you really want to take advantage of it this year, I would try getting some of the young guys. Try getting Cole Young, Colt Emerson, Ben Williamson, even some of the guys on the back feel like the back practice fields, obviously, the Mariners just signed a couple of guys out of the international draft. You could go try to get Cade Anderson or something like that. Ryan Sloan. Like there's plenty of guys that could be big deals in, as early as this year, but further down the line that you should definitely try to take a look at. But if you are planning on going down to Arizona, I made a video about where you should and should not stay. Be sure to check that one out and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel because we are going to be posting a guide for Mariner spring training from my experience when I spent a month down there last year. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But for now, we appreciate you guys watching episode 268 of the Hit It Here podcast presented by Fanduel, and go Mariners.